So why organic? Because this is produce fresh as nature intended. You can't walk into a supermarket and do that. This is a borage, so the young leaves can be eaten, and especially the dark blue flowers are great in salad, but the bees absolutely love them. So every few beds, put one in the middle. And we do ours in individual peat pots. It's a little bit more expensive, but the reason we do it is because we avoid the transplant shock. So the product we use for the base of our seed raising mix and for all the sprouting, the wheatgrass and the sprouts, is coconut core peat, which is the leftover product of the coconut industry. The outside of the coconuts are ground up. So what we end up with is a very fine, rich compost material, and then we add 50% of this and 50% with our coconut core peat moss, and we end up with this. This is our finished product, and then we get our first stage of shooting, and that's approximately at day 3, and that's one day. We're going to plant some early potatoes. These ones are an Australian variety. All the potatoes you buy in your standard supermarkets are all being dipped or sprayed in a sprout retardant to stop this from happening when they have them in storage. Now, if you go in and buy your potatoes and you want your products labelled, you try and find a label that tells you the chemicals that are involved in what they dip and spray these with. You won't find it. With tomatoes, the deeper you bury them, the more roots they will send out. The more roots they send out, the bigger, healthier, more vigorous the plant will be, and in the end, the more fruit you'll get. You have great movement of all those organisms in the soil as they break this mulch down. This is organic sugarcane mulch. It has a light shade factor of around 17–18%. It also creates a microclimate to increase between 4 and 6 degrees underneath. Another unusual green we use in mixed salads is the chrysanthemum. It comes under the name of an edible Asian green. We tend to grow this to make our dehydrated kale chips, because when you cover this in the capsicum for the flavouring of the chips, it gets caught in all the little nooks and crannies and holds on to the paste, and it dehydrates well and becomes a great chip. And here's your tendril, all dried. We have a particular vibration in there, and there's our yellow patch on the bottom. Now that's an onion. So we're growing both red onions and the brown onions. If you were to pick these and then store them for 2 months, what happens is the starches turn into sugar. So a pumpkin that's been stored for a month or 2 is actually sweeter than one straight off the vine. This is the time now where we redo our beds. We rip out the old ones. 5 grams of healthy organic soil can hold over 1 billion bacteria, over 5 million fungi, thousands of protozoa, and many, many beneficial nematodes. We feed the plant. We feed it on 3 main nutrients, an NPK, so-called balanced fertilizer, and when in fact the soil, when it's in its own balance, provides over 50 nutrients to the plants. But we artificially feed them with 3 to get ongoing growth, to get some root structure, and to get production of fruit. What happens when we only have 3? It's the bacteria that heats it up, breaks it down. You've got a massive diversity of bacteria and fungi in those compost piles, and this is where the plants and the mycorrhizal fungi work together in that symbiotic relationship. And what is indeed intended for us in nature's grand plan for everything is that we also work symbiotically with plants to get what we require in the way of energy.